Sometimes I feel like I don't have a...
All right, brothers and sisters, let's finally put this to bed. Welcome back to part 5 of Will the Real Gadianton Robbers Please Stand Up? Sorry, Gadianton and your band. We didn't know you were going to have to do this 5 times, so you can probably sit down now. They're probably getting tired of standing up and sitting down. So, I had an idea. Look at the... remember I cleaned this 3 videos ago, and it's funny, you could probably go back and watch it dishevel like little increments at a time on each video, and I'm not complaining. I'll probably end up cleaning it again. I had this idea. I had this little firework blast off my head about 20 minutes ago. You can read in Luke chapter 17 about the days of Noah, that it was just like these days. Okay, so if you're not sure where we are in wickedness, it is compared to the days of Noah. So what do we use today? We use the Book of Mormon, right? So it's probably safe to say if we were like the days of Noah, they're not just talking about specific sins. They're talking about everything we're going through. I would imagine, I would assume. And I was thinking, you know, they could have very well utilized the Book of Mormon as we are today. So Noah in his day, the wicked people and the righteous, well, the righteous are the ones that read the scriptures, so they could have used the Book of Mormon just like we use it today. And I was thinking about that, and that was neat. Who's to say they didn't have other scriptures besides, you know, because we don't have everything. We don't have the Bible, and even the Book of Mormon are not all the scriptures, not even the Dead Sea Scrolls. There are probably many prophets we've never heard of, and scriptures that I think they probably used that were very similar to the Book of Mormon to help them in their day. That's kind of a neat thought, huh? Okay, so let's put this rooster to sleep. Let's put this puppy to bed. All right, where are we? Let's do this. I'm gonna just try not to talk. Let's just get this done. Let's read this. Okay, so we left off. There is no conspiracy theory in the Book of Mormon. By the way, I have many shirts like this. I've been wearing a black shirt, except for one of the videos. 4 out of the 5 videos I've been wearing black shirts. So if you think that I'm just this dirty old soul, I'm not. I have many black shirts like this. Okay. There is no conspiracy theory in the Book of Mormon. Quote, this most correct book on earth states that the downfall of 2 great American civilizations came as a result of secret conspiracies, whose desire was to overthrow the freedom of the people. And then he quotes, and they have caused the destruction of this people of whom I am now speaking, close quote, says Moroni. And then again Moroni, and also the destruction of the people of Nephi, close quote. And then Ether 8:21, now undoubtedly Mormon could... No, I didn't do that right. Let's start that over. Okay, cut, paste. Quote, this most correct book on earth states that the downfall of 2 great American civilizations came as a result of secret conspiracies, whose desire was to overthrow the freedom of the people. And they have caused the destruction of this people of whom I am now speaking, says Moroni, and also the destruction of the people of Nephi. Ether 8:21. Now, undoubtedly, Moroni could have pointed out many factors. I think they're saying C, Ether 8:21. Now, undoubtedly, Moroni could have pointed out many factors. Undoubtedly, they repeated themselves. Moroni could have pointed out many factors that led to the to the destruction of the people. But notice how he singled out the secret combinations, just as the church today could point out many threats to peace, prosperity, and the spread of God's work. But it has singled out the greatest threat as the great conspiracy. There is no conspiracy theory in the Book of Mormon. A lot of us have seen this talk. It is a conspiracy fact. And along this line, I would highly recommend to you the book None Dare Call It a Conspiracy by Gary Allen. And that's Ezra Taft Benson, General Conference, April 1972. He was my prophet. I was born in 1971, so I grew up in the 80s. Book recommendation added by Ezra Taft Benson during talk after he discovered a Russian delegation was in attendance, not included in the prepared or text archives of the talk. I don't know if that is Mormon folklore. I'm sure it's true, but I don't know. I'm reading here on this forum. Modern founders of secret works arose about same time as Restoration. Quote, "It is well to ask, what system," referring to Isaiah 29:15 through 16, "established secret works of darkness to overthrow nations by violent revolution?" Let's read Isaiah 29:15 through 16. My wife is watching a BYU roundtable in the other room before she goes to work, so if you hear mumbling, it's through the walls. So it's good, righteous mumbling. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us? Who seeth us, and who knoweth us? In other words, we're doing our stuff in the dark. You don't see us. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the works say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, He had no understanding? Drop my pen. Okay, so I think I'm doing pretty good about just getting through this. I'm proud of myself. Established secret works of darkness to overthrow nations by violent revolution, who blasphemously proclaimed the atheistic doctrine that God made us not. Satan works through human agents. We need only look to some of the ignoble characters in human history who were contemporary to the restoration of the gospel, who discover fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy. I refer to the infamous founders of communism and others who follow in their tradition. Close quote. Ezra Taft Benson, A Witness and a Warning, Conference, 1979. Gadianton Robbers fill the seats in many governments. Quote, Gadianton robbers fill the judgment seats in many nations. An evil power seeks to overthrow the freedom of all nations and countries. Close quote. That's Bruce R. McConkie speaking in the April 1980 General Conference. We must recognize, address, and quit building up secret combinations. Quote, the Book of Mormon exposes the enemies of Christ. It sure does. It confounds false doctrines and lays down contention. See 2 Nephi 3:12. Let's see that real quick. And like I said before, I want you guys to go through and read all the verses and chapters, all the scripture references in the Book of Mormon that I'm putting here, and do a study with these videos on your own. Or you could go to the website and read it on Mormon Chronicle and study it yourself. Starting at verse 12. Wherefore, it is verse 12. Wherefore the fruit of thy loins shall write, and the fruit of the loins of Judah shall write. Talking about the Book of Mormon and the Bible. And that which shall be written by the fruit of thy loins, and also that which shall be written by the fruit of the loins of Judah, shall grow together. A stick in my hand. Unto the confounding of false doctrines and laying down of contentions, and establishing peace. among the fruit of thy loins, and bringing them to the knowledge of their fathers in the latter days, and also to the knowledge of my covenants, saith the Lord. That's 2 Nephi 3:12. It fortifies the humble followers of Christ against the evil designs, strategies, and doctrines of the devil in our day. The type of apostates in the Book of Mormon are similar to the type we have today, and probably similar to the type in the days of Noah. I added that. God, with his infinite foreknowledge, so molded the Book of Mormon that we might see the error and know how to combat false educational, political, religious, and philosophical concepts of our time. So remember when I did that little chart with the marker that was probably unnecessary, but I wanted to illustrate something to you, that this is the Lord's. It's important. The Book of Mormon, and if it talks about secret combinations, then that's what the Lord wants us to know about more than anything besides the atonement of Jesus Christ. If it's in the Book of Mormon, and the Book of Mormon talks about it all the time, because he knew that we would be facing this. So it's important. Okay, so we're not going to get bogged down. Let's go, Troy. Come on. Let's do this. Let's put this puppy to bed. Come follow me, the Savior said. All right. Now we have not been... Where am I? So we molded the Book of Mormon that we could see the error of our way. Okay, I read all that. Now we have not been using the Book of Mormon as we should. Our homes are not as strong unless we are using it to bring our children to Christ. Our families may be corrupted by worldly trends and teachings unless we know how to use the book to expose and combat falsehoods in socialism, rationalism, etc. The situation in the world will continue to degenerate unless we read and heed the words of God and quit building up and upholding secret combinations. Stop doing that. Stop it. You ever see Bob Newhart, that little clip where the lady's in front of him and he's a counselor and she says, I have a problem. Or I'm afraid of being buried alive. And he said, well, stop thinking that. Just stop it.
I start thinking about being buried alive and I begin to panic.
I'm going to say two words to you right now. I want you to listen to them very, very carefully.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here they are. Stop it!
It's funny. Go check it out. Which the Book of Mormon tells us, so stop upholding secret combinations, stop supporting them. Which the Book of Mormon tells us proved the downfall of ancient civilizations. Ezra Taft Benson, First Presidency Message, Ensign, January 1988. It's funny how a lot of this came from Ezra Taft Benson, huh? And many of his predecessors. A specific secret combination is increasing its global dominion. Quote, wickedness is more highly organized, more cleverly disguised, and more powerfully promoted than ever. Secret combinations lusting for power, gain, and glory are flourishing. A secret combination that seeks to overthrow the freedom of all lands, nations, and countries is increasing its evil influence and control over America and the entire world, close quote. ETB, Ezra Taft Benson, I Testify Conference, October 1988. Modern day Gadianton Robbers seek to bring down the church. Yikes. Woo the people with sophistry and take control of society. Quote, it is the terrorist organizations that must be ferreted out and brought down. We of this church know something of such groups. The Book of Mormon speaks of the Gadianton Robbers, a vicious, oath-bound, and secret organization bent on evil and destruction. In their day, they did all in their power, by whatever means available, to bring down the church, to woo the people with sophistry, and to take control of the society. We see the same thing in the present situation, close quote. Gordon B. Hinckley, General Conference, October 2001. Now, when he gave this talk, it was right after 9/11. Later on, he changed his views about our occupation in Iraq. Gordon B. Hinckley did know that it was more than just the terrorist groups. I personally believe that he was probably being careful what he said. And I know the brethren, since certain things have probably come to some more enlightening conclusions. Evil schemers promote heavy taxation, false promises, loose morals, and war. We're almost done. This is the last quote. And you'll never guess who it's from. No, it's not ETB. It's GBH. Quote, "The Book of Mormon narrative is a chronicle of nations long since gone, but in its descriptions of the problems of today's society, it is as current as the morning newspaper and much more definitive, inspired, and inspiring concerning the solutions of those problems. I know of no other writing which sets forth with such clarity the tragic consequences to societies that follow courses contrary to the commandments of God. Its pages trace the stories of two distinct civilizations that flourished on the Western Hemisphere. Each began as a small nation, its people walking in the fear of the Lord. But with prosperity came growing evils. The people succumbed to the wiles of ambitious and scheming leaders who oppressed them with burdensome taxes, who lulled them." My wife is knocking. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got brand new glasses about 2 hours ago.
It's wonderful, Troy.
They're really weird. I'm taking big, huge steps. I'm trying to get used to them. I don't think I'm going to wear them all the time, though. Okay, so where are we? We are burdensome taxes. We're talking about what they do. The people succumb to the wiles of ambitious and scheming leaders who oppress them with burdensome taxes, who lulled them with hollow promises, who countenanced and even encouraged loose and lascivious living. These evil schemers led the people into terrible wars that resulted in the death of millions and the final and total extinction of two great civilizations in two different eras. Close quote. Gordon B. Hinckley, first presidency message, Ensign, and you see I'm smiling, and some of you know why I'm smiling. And it's not because of the content of what he was describing. Those are bad things. August 2005. See the difference in his message from 2001 to 2005. Like a lot of Americans and a lot of members of the church, we like to have a hero, just like Roosevelt. The first presidency, President Grant was not too fond of President Roosevelt. And that letter, I posted the letter that they wrote to the U.S. Treasury about their feelings of World War II, 1941. Go back and read. I think it's the fourth part of this. It's either the third or the fourth part. Where no, it's the last half of this one, part 4, where I posted in the comments section the letter that they wrote in 1941 to the U.S. Treasury. But we are not fond of wars. The Lord is not fond of the wars that take place today. Unlike the Book of Mormon times, these wars are propagated and they're concocted into lulling people into their greed. It's over greed and resource grabbing. So that was Gordon B. Hinckley. So he had a different feeling. Like I was gonna say before I interrupted myself again about Roosevelt, but that we shouldn't have been in Iraq. A lot of people knew that. Remember, if you believe the Book of Mormon, then you believe in conspiring men in the last days. So to criticize those of us who are only seeing what the Book of Mormon talks about, and in the Book of Mormon we've already studied. Go back and study all these 5 videos that I've just done. That the Book of Mormon is a warning for us in these last days. So if it's a warning, that means things are happening. So that's it. We're done. You guys can go read the other part is History and Accident and What Now and all that good stuff. If you go to Mormon Chronicle, and it's Waking Up to Secret Combinations, an LDS perspective on conspiracy. Thank you so much. And the next video I'm doing is on the priesthood. Have a good day. Wow, that's it. We're done. Okay, bye.